The games we want to talk about is on the way is NCAA Basketball 09. To do that, we've got Sean O'Brien here, who's one of the producers with the game with EA Sports. How you doing, Sean?
I'm good, Brian. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, we've had you here all day talking about this game, but for the folks at home, NCAA Basketball, it's the only college basketball game this year. What did you guys want to do with this game to make sure that people would, you know, in droves go to buy this game?
Yeah, really focused on gameplay a lot this year. So, you know, as every year, gameplay and 5-on-5 is a big part of it, but this is a unique year for us. It's a big unveiling. It's a new game name for us as well, so we wanted to come out with a big splash, and one of the things that we wanted to get to was a common basketball engine within EA Sports, and all the progress that NBA Live has made over the last couple of years, we're finally on the same common basketball engine. So one of the things that we wanted to do, because we have a longer dev cycle, is make the game a little bit better, take some of that consumer feedback that NBA got, made it a little bit better because of that longer dev cycle that we have, but obviously make it different. It's a college basketball game, make it completely different, focus on the things that are unique to college basketball.
Well, let's dive right in and show this common basketball engine now. One of the things, obviously it's basketball, but with college it's a very different style of basketball, right?
Definitely, yeah. Really focused on the 5-on-5 aspect versus the 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 of the pro game, and obviously on team styles of play. So there's 3 different team styles of play you can choose from, or your team is given, and that's a half-court, a balanced, or an up-tempo style of play, and really focused on that uniqueness and what it takes to be successful when you're actually doing one or the other. So using here, I got Kentucky in blue, who's a half-court team, and I've got Tennessee that I'm controlling, and they're an up-tempo team. So what I'm going to try and do is really try and push the ball up the floor and take some quicker shots to really affect and force, to affect how the game is playing and force my tempo and my will upon them.
And conversely, they're going to be trying to slow the game down, right?
Definitely, yeah. You can see them, and I'm going to try and inflect my will again here and try and press them a little bit. You can see Kentucky's going to try and slow the game down a little bit, call some sets, and I'm going to try and have that battle with them and try and get them in an uncomfortable position.
And the idea being here is, if you play to your styles, the game will, you have to play to your style in order to succeed in the game, right?
Definitely, yeah. There's an impact based on a number of different player ratings. There's fatigue, there's shooting percentages, there's turnovers that really play into whether or not you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and playing within that game tempo control. And at some point in the next little while, when game tempo is established, you'll see at the bottom of the screen in the score overlay a very simple graphic showcasing what your ideal tempo is per school, along with where the current game tempo is at right now. So obviously the idea is to get that game tempo in your ideal tempo based on what school it is that you're playing with and the style of play that school plays with.
So here's my question: if my favorite school plays a different style of basketball that I maybe don't like to play, what are my options then? Should I avoid them altogether?
No, you can play with them. You can also try to change it up. Like I can actually change it up on the fly. Here I'm showing that I can actually change my style of play, my tempo. Playing with Tennessee, if I want to try and slow it down, if the time and score is dictating that I maybe want to try and slow the game down a little bit, then I can do that. And I may not be as successful, and again, depending on how good of a player I am, I can actually try and change the way that Tennessee plays the game, or conversely, if you're playing with your favorite team and you want to do something differently, how they end up succeeding as well.
Can you talk about some of the things that you guys have done specifically to address problems that were in NBA Live 09?
Definitely. Like again, taking that user feedback that we got off message boards and from different focus testing that we did, really focusing on things like animation responsiveness. So some of the things with rebounding, block shots, guarding the basketball while you're playing defense, really focusing on that aspect of the game and really tightening that up. And again, it was just a question of having a longer dev cycle than NBA. The really good thing is, from an EA Sports perspective is that you'll actually see all these same changes, and that NBA consumer will see them in a patch that's going out next month for NBA Live.
Okay. Are there any controls that are specific to this game?
It's very similar control-wise, from passing, shooting, calling different plays. Our plays are more team-based and 5-on-5 versus what you'll get in live, and trying to get individual players in a position to be successful and score the basketball. But as far as the controls themselves, very similar and unique. We signed a partnership this year as well with the NABC, which is a National Association of Basketball Coaches, and they've been really instrumental in helping us identify what it is that makes a college basketball game so unique and so special, both from an X's and O's standpoint, but also from the standpoint of the tradition, the pageantry, the atmosphere of the games in different venues, and what makes it so unique and so special. So working with those guys has really been advantageous for us, and personally for me too, just a really good experience, and meet some guys that are figureheads of the game. And you can see up there, you got Coach Pearl through our coach feedback system is actually giving me hints and tips on what I need to do when I'm playing with Tennessee to be successful.
Feel like taking some questions from the audience?
Sure, that'd be great.
Kristen, let's have some questions for Sean.
Okay, Harsh Bahat from Atlanta, Georgia wants to know, does the season still have playoffs for teams?
Definitely, yeah. We have when you're playing in your dynasty mode, you can actually get in there, play all the way through your conference play. You got your conference tournament, and then if you qualify for the NCAA tournament, you've got that postseason play as well with that famous 65-team tournament that we get every single year. And culminating in Detroit for the first time, where you can actually see Ford Field, the football stadium, playing in front of 65,000 fans and using the entire dome. So it should be pretty cool, and all represented within NCAA Basketball 09.
It'll be interesting to go to Ford Field and see teams that actually know what they're doing.
Yes. Very true.
Cool. So, and there's actually another tournament in the game with legends, right?
Yeah, this is my favorite. It's we've partnered with ESPN on this one, and it's the ESPN Classic Tournament of Legends. And working with ESPN, we've actually we've put together the top 64 teams of all time, and we've seeded them, and there's a 64-team tournament complete with 4 brackets, similar to what you get from the NCAA tournament, and you can play with great legends from the past. The 79 Michigan State team and 79 Indiana State, some of the classic UCLA teams. And some more recent memories, some of the Cinderella stories you got. We actually had an online voting competition to vote in the fan favorite Cinderella team, and they selected the 2006 George Mason team that had that fantastic run to the Final Four. So this is a fantastic tournament and game mode, and it's a lot of fun to play, and complete with the short shorts and
yes.
All that.
How could we forget the short shorts?
Exactly, that great era that was before 1992, I guess.
That's right. All right, one more question. Kristen, let's have one more for Sean.
Okay, let me see if I can get my pointer there to pull it up.
All right.
Gianmarco Alva from Windsor, Canada wants to know, how far are you able to customize your players, as in shoes and clothing, etc.?
We've done, I think, a really good job with our create and edit player feature, and really focusing on the creation of the player and also the editing of the player, which I think is pretty cool. And our file sharing system that we're offering this year is very in-depth and very compelling, giving the consumer the opportunity to actually get in there, edit player names, edit different appearances, and then share it with all his friends or even anybody else out there online that's looking to do the same thing. So focused a lot on that, and also at the same time, again with this new partnership with coaches, is being able to edit your coach too. So if you want to put him in a sweater, a Hawaiian shirt, a different suit, you can do that. You can put your name up there in lights as well if you'd like to.
Excellent. Demo's out?
Demo is out this week as of today, so really looking forward to it. I've been reading the boards today, and we've got some pretty good consumer feedback so far, so I'm excited.
I'm sure you guys get nothing but feedback at this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
And when's the game coming out?
The game is coming out November 17th.
All right, well, Sean and Brian, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.
Look forward to NCAA Basketball 09 soon.